Akwa Governor institutes 100 million naira educational fund for tertiary students with disabilities, appoints 2 as personal aides. Wife of Governor tasks civil society organizations, stakeholders on fight against drug abuse and illicit trafficking. Reporter identifies peer group influence, get rich quick syndrome as major causes of drug abuse in society. President Bola Tinubu expected back in Nigeria for Salah festivities. Details of these and other stories in a moment. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I am Akaniene Okbong. 100 million naira educational fund has been instituted by the Akwa State Governor for students with disabilities studying in public tertiary institutions. Governor Omoino announced this when he met with a cross-section of students with disabilities at Government House Uyo, and also appointed 2 of the students as his personal assistants. We bring you the details of this in our next bulletin. The wife of the state governor, Pastor Patience Umoino, has called on civil society organizations, healthcare providers, and other relevant stakeholders to strengthen collaboration in the fight and prevention of drug abuse and illicit trafficking in the state. The governor's wife made the call during the commemoration of the 2023 United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. The celebration has the theme, People First, Stop Stigmatization and Discrimination, Strengthen Prevention. Margaret Bassey reports that the event was organized by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Akwa State Command, in collaboration with the State Drug Control Committee.
Pastor Patience Eno, who performed her first official function as the chairperson, Akwa State Drug Control Committee, acknowledged the importance of the day, which serves as a reminder on the devastating impact of drug abuse and illicit trafficking on individuals, families, and society, calling on all to create awareness and work towards effective solutions to addressing the stigma and discrimination. She lauded the immediate past First Lady for laying a foundation to eradicate the scourge in the state, as well as NDLEA for being at the forefront. She solicited for community outreach and targeted campaigns to address the root cause of the crime.
As you all know, drug abuse is a crime, not just against humanity, but against God. Hence, the need for all hands to be on deck to rid our society of the effects of drug abuse. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. Remember that our country needs our youth as our future and harbinger of progress.
The State Commandant of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Mrs. Obot Bassey, said the event was targeted at sensitizing youths on the need for a drug-free society. Mrs. Bassey stated that from July 2022 to May 2023, the Akwa State Command of NDLEA has arrested a total of 239 suspects, convicted 59 drug offenders, counseled 160 drug addicts, as well as treated and rehabilitated 15 of the culprits.
It is a day set aside to strengthen action at sensitizing the general populace, especially the youth, on the dangers of abuse and trafficking of illicit substances. Enable them take the right decision against substance abuse.
Goodwill messages were presented by Mrs. Inemeset Enoborua, Mrs. Margaret Udemoto, and representatives of different uniform organizations who all expressed their determination to strengthen action and cooperation to achieve the goal.
We are going to spread the news that we are going to hear today across our state. I promise that we will go and teach our people in the rural area.
Drug is the enabler of most crime. As we admonish our children in our different prayer altars, let's tell them the dangers of drugs.
And also promise that will also assist in any way you are needed.
The matter of drug is not a joking matter. If not taken seriously, we will soon not have any generation to take over from us.
The event drew stakeholders and students from select secondary schools across the state and featured plenary session, drama, and presentation of prizes to winners of NDLEA 2023 essay competition, as well as gifts to the wife of the governor. Margaret Bassi, Akbc News.
Meanwhile, the State Deputy Governor, Senator Okone Yarayi, has called for a more humane approach in the fight against drug abuse and illicit trafficking among the younger generation. Senator Yarayi made the call at the 2023 United Nations International Day against drug abuse and illicit trafficking in Uyo. Our Government House reporter, Otebi Makun, has the details.
Senator Yarayi, who made the remarks, enumerated the enormous problems constituted by drug abuse and illicit trafficking, noting that its harm has destroyed the mental and physical health of people, therefore increasing criminal activities in communities. She pointed out that drug abuse was undoubtedly one of the biggest challenges that face the modern world, and its widespread impact, the offenders, their families, and the society are affected directly and indirectly. The senator commended the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, UNODC, and its Nigerian affiliate, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, for initiating a change of approach in the fight against the menace.
We must collectively step up efforts in the area of sensitization. Sometimes ignorance is the greatest sponsor of crime. Once there is a knowledge gap, wrongdoing increases. The campaign against drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking should be taken to our secondary schools, tertiary institutions of learning, churches, and markets. Since health is a major item in the Arise agenda, the administration of Pastor Umar will support efforts aimed at safeguarding the mental and physical health of the Akwa people. Be rest assured that you have a partner in this administration, in this fight to rescue the minds of our youth.
The event featured presentation of a souvenir to the State Deputy Governor by the State Commander of NDLEA, Mrs. Obot Barsi. Otimi Maokun, Akbc News.
The abuse of psychoactive drugs has become a public health issue and a thing of national concern. Concerns are focused not only on the psychological and behavioral impact of substance abuse, but also its hazards on social and moral values, as well as impending overall progress of societies. In this report, Etienne Eban examines the dangers of drug abuse and possible ways of curbing its effects.
Global, national, state, and local efforts have been taken to curtail substance use and abuse, which experts say constitute a critical public health problem. According to the World Drug Report 2021 of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, estimated 284 million people between 15 and 64 years had used drugs in the previous years worldwide, while 11.2 million people inject drugs globally. The burden of drug abuse has also been related to organized crime, illicit financial flows, corruption, terrorism and insurgency. Why do people abuse drugs, and which drugs are mostly abused, especially in Nigerian society? Mrs. Obotubasi, the Akwa Ibom State member of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, speaks.
In Akwa Ibom State, what is mostly abused is cannabis, cocaine, heroin, tramadol, diazepam, codeine, cough syrup, and a host of other drugs.
According to experts, drug abuse is increasing at an alarming rate, causing serious threat to every nation.
It ranges from stagnation, damaged individuals, damaged relationships, health problems, financial distress, depression and anxiety, crimes, and even death.
Most of this is got introduced to us by people who have gone outside the country, transported the one thing or the other, and people start. In our days, we only read in books about cocaine, and Indian hemp was slightly closer, let me say so.
On what leads people into drug abuse, many addicts who spoke off camera said that drug abuse starts like a game, a fad arising from peer group influence, and that it helps them overlook harsh realities and depression. In a bid to stem the tide of drugs abuse in Nigeria, several laws and policies were established by government under agencies such as the National Drug Laws Enforcement Agency, National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, Pharmacists Council of Nigeria, and a Presidential Advisory Committee. What are the achievements recorded by the NDLEA, especially in Akwa Ibom State, in the fight against drug abuse?
The NDLEA Akwa Ibom State Command has been committed to saving humanity through its mandate of eliminating illicit drugs from the homes and the streets of Akwa Ibom State through the arrests, seizures of illicit drugs, prosecution of drug dealers, preventive mechanisms of campaign and awareness creation on the consequences of illicit drug abuse. The command is earnestly involved in the rehabilitation of persons who use drugs within the state.
Some respondents suggested other measures to help in reducing drug abuse in the society.
If one could make job opportunities engaging for the youths, I think this would be one of the reasons that will also reduce drug abuse.
People should abstain themselves from drugs. Like if they can't do it themselves, they can seek counseling from others. Ask people.
The church, that is where our morals are built. The church or the mosque or even traditional worshippers have a code, a moral code. If the society will get back to that traditional way of living, where a child does something, the whole village is against it, and it will be disciplined from the house.
For me, I think that the society and also the government should look for a way to rehabilitate drug abuse, that it shouldn't come to an existence through the help of enforcing of drug abuse task force.
As the United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking is celebrated June 26, 2023, on the theme, People First, Stop Stigma and Discrimination, Strengthen Prevention. There is need for all to team up and fight against drug abuse in the society. Etienne Ibanga, Akbc News.
And still to come on the news, CBN directs banks to obtain the social media handles of customers to enhance customer due diligence regulation. This and more when we return. Stay with us.
I just want your papers, please.
Sir.
Salary don't enter. Yes, so. And Monday never even reach. Na salary plenty, oh. No wonder I no gree collect roja from my hand. Shut up, sir. here to bail my younger brother.
If it happen.
With good luck,
Proper funding, training,
and cooperation.
if it happen.
In immortalizing one of the early missionaries who promoted Christianity in Nigeria and stopped the killing of twins, our former Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Gloria Edith, has built and handed over a chapel to the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria, Ikorobong in Ibionibom local government area. Christened the Mary Michel Slezo Chapel, the edifice is built where the missionary died in Ose Ikoroku, Ibionibom. Ewakanopo reports on the handing over event and reasons for the donors' gesture.
In 1876, a Scottish missionary by name Mary Mitchell Slazer came to Nigeria at the age of 28, landed the then Calabar, did her missionary job, and later settled in Itu in 1904. Known as the White Queen of Okoyong and Mambakara, Mary Slazer, after traversing the present-day Akwa Ibom state, including Ikbeikonkon, in local government area, built schools, churches, hospitals, stopped the killing of twins, and stayed in Ose Ikoroku till her death on January 15, 1915. These numerous good works done by Mary Slazer may have prompted many people, including the former Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Gloria, to find ways of immortalizing her. This Dr. Edith did by building and donating a chapel in Mary Slazer's name to Presbyterian Church of Nigeria.
On behalf of the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria and her trustees, I accept the key in token of the trust committed unto us.
Addressing the Presbyterian Church members' Aqua Synod and guests who attended the dedication of Mary Slazer Chapel, Dr. Gloria said her grandfather lived with Mary Slazer along two other men in Ikbeikonkon for years, and that Mass Slazer, as she was told, impacted the area positively. She donated a generating set to the chapel and promised to pay the salaries of the chaplain there and other staff for 2 years.
So Mary Slazer lived there. My grandfather lived with her, and of course she did so many things. She built, established so many churches in Ipe Parish. And when we grew up, I told myself and our family, because from time to time we used to discuss about Mary Slazer. And I told God, it's a dream of many years, that by the special grace of God, if we have any opportunity, we will do something in memory of Mary Slazer. And today I want to thank God because the dream has been fulfilled.
Dr. Kanyere Kampo, who supervised the chapel project, thanked the Ose Ikoroku community for giving them the needed support.
And also thank God that throughout the period we worked in this place, you know this place is a difficult terrain to do construction work. But God saw us through.
Other guests to grace the occasion thanked Dr. Gloria for such gesture and donated for the upkeep of the edifice.
I want to believe the man that will be here will take care of this place. We have to live in this place.
Congratulations, Dr. Gloria and your whole family. When I heard that you're going to dedicate and donate a chapel, it touched my heart really, because whatever you do for God is eternal. The blessings are in this life and in the life to come.
A good product. That is Dr. Gloria.
Yes.
Thank you. Ma, thank you. But coming today to see this digital building is a great thing. She has left a legacy.
And to really be somebody that is known for his acts. Service to God and humanity. She's a model to us. She's a material to us.
I don't know if she did not come where I'm campaigning today.
In a seminar of the theme, What Legacy Will You Leave Behind?, the prelate of the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria and moderator of the General Assembly, His Eminence Dr. Akbc charged Christians to emulate Mary Slessor, who after 108 years of her death is still celebrated, and saluted Dr. Gloria for her magnanimity of immortalizing the female legend.
Today we are celebrating the legacy of Mary Slessor, a woman who lived, who had no child, who had no house. What immortalizes a man is not what he does for himself, but what he does for others.
The event featured thanksgiving, prayer for the donor, and dedication of the chapel.
What Mary Mitchell Slessor, a missionary who came to Nigeria and died in 1915 did to humanity, is worth emulating, as exemplified by Dr. Gloria. From Usei Koroku, the village where Mary Slessor died, Akbc News.
The Akwa State University, Ikoropaden, now has 2,890 fresh students. This is a fallout of the 13th matriculation ceremony held weekend at the sports ground of the main campus, Ikoropaden. The ceremony brought together guests, parents and guardians, friends of the university, as well as members of the university community. The Vice Chancellor, Professor Nsesien, directed the event. Akbc News brings you sights and sounds of the ceremony.
Welcome you, the university librarian, the bursar, the registrar and secretary to Senate, the deputy vice chancellor administration, the deputy.
That was a procession of the 2,890 newly admitted students into the 2022-2023 academic session of the university. A breakdown shows that 102 students were admitted into the Faculty of Agriculture, 414 into Faculty of Arts, 473 Biological Sciences. Education had 274 freshers. Others include Faculty of Engineering with 529 students. Faculty of Management Sciences admitted 432. Faculty of Sciences 296, while the Faculty of Social Sciences admitted 370 new students. Addressing the matriculant, the Vice-Chancellor of the Akwa State University, Professor Nsesien, charged them to be studious, level-headed, and obedient to rules and regulations of the school, to graduate with flying colors. While congratulating them, Professor Nsesien tasked them to set ambitious goals, embrace new experiences and perspectives, and approach their studies with curiosity.
As you embark on this new chapter in your life, please take advantage of every opportunity that this university has to offer and engage with your peers, faculty and staff to make the most of your time here. May I assure you that choosing Akwa State University is a clear confirmation of your confidence in our university as a citadel of excellence.
The 2,890 students took their matriculation oath, administered by the registrar, Dr. Akbc News.
Solemnly and publicly declare that I will, to the best of my ability, pursue seriously my course of studies and contribute in every way to foster the unity and progress of Nigeria, Akwa State, and the university.
Some of the matriculating students bared their minds on the occasion.
I'm happy now. I finally be a student of this school. Without my matric number, I cannot be a student. So I'm getting my number today, and I'm a student now.
So much give God the glory for making this occasion to be a successful occasion. And as you can see, God has done it for us. So we really thank God for all He has done.
Among the 1,000 people that rose here, I had the opportunity to be that. I turn all glory to God.
Some parents and guests could not also hide their joy.
We should focus on education, because education is the bedrock of the society.
Okay, I always pray that my God should protect him till he's finished, and I wish him good luck.
Because the main aim of being here is to study, come out and become outstanding in the society. So I wish her all the best, success in all her studies.
Christians have been admonished to always turn to Jesus whenever problems arise in their lives. Reverend Etmekong was speaking at the funeral service in honor of Elder Sukwekbo of Adadia in Uran local government area, who died at 97. The funeral service was conducted by the Methodist Church in Nigeria at the Preacher Memorial Methodist Cathedral Playground, Diocese of Adadia. Esther Umorin completes the report.
Reverend Etmekong, who spoke on the topic, Jesus, the Resurrection and the Life, made reference to the story of Mary and Martha, who turned to Jesus when their brother Lazarus died. Reverend Ekong urged Christians never to be overwhelmed by life's challenges, as Jesus always makes a way out for those who turn to Him.
Amadi ọwọ́ Jesus. Ìsúnmìlẹ̀ ipò ìdọ̀rọ̀ fún obì àwọn akẹ́kẹ̀ẹ́ rí mbọ́rọ̀ mi. Ipò àbàsíẹ́nà n'ọ̀dí ọ̀hún dàkẹ́ àfọ̀dà anyẹrẹ uwemfem kiri kẹ́mínì.
In a biography read in Ibibio by the granddaughter of the deceased, Miss Amazing Abasuwangekpo, late Elder Asukwaekpo was described as a crusader and an evangelist who was committed to church activities and programs. He was further described as a hard-working man who puts in his best to care for his family and those around him. The event featured songs, main fellowship rites, and prayer for the bereaved family. Of late Elder Sukwekbo were interred in his hometown Adadia in Uran local government area. Some family members expressed their grief thus.
We also help people, pray for people, give people good advice on how to succeed in life. His life is a testimony. So we are very grateful that our father lived a fulfilled life. He also attained whatever height he could attain while on earth.
Esther Morin, Akbc News.
And now to the national scene. The Central Bank of Nigeria has directed banks to obtain the social media handles of customers as part of enhanced customer due diligence regulations. The directive was contained in the CBN Customer Due Diligence Regulation 2023, issued over the weekend through a circular signed by the Director of Financial Policy and Regulation Department of the CBN, Mr. Chibuzo FOB. According to CBN, the CDD measures include customer identification and verification of identity, identification and verification of beneficial owner, as well as the understanding, nature, and purpose of business. The Cross River State Governor, Mr. Basio too, has ordered the immediate suspension of all cruise operations and other activities at Marina Resort in Calabar over a boat accident that occurred on Saturday, June 24, 2023. In a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Emmanuel Ubeche, the governor also directed that cruise boat operators with the management of the State Tourism Bureau are to attend a meeting in the office of the secretary to the state government. Governor too tasked the police to speed up investigation into the boat accident and prosecute those found culpable to serve as deterrent to others. He also sympathized with families of the affected students over the unfortunate incident. The tragic accident involved 14 medical students, with 3 feared dead and 11 rescued. And now to end the news, another look at the top stories. 100 million Naira educational fund has been instituted by the Akwa Ibom state government for students with disabilities studying in public tertiary institutions. Governor Umoino announced this when he met with a cross-section of students with disabilities at Government House Uyo. He also appointed 2 of the students as his personal aide. He also told you that the wife of the state governor, Pastor Patience Umoino, has called on civil society organizations, healthcare providers, and other relevant stakeholders to strengthen the collaboration in the fight and prevention of drug abuse and illicit trafficking in the state. The governor's wife made the call during the commemoration of the 2023 United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. That's our package this evening. Thanks so much for watching, and good night.